I want to play some sound. So yesterday, the NBA on ESPN, so they do their show. Dave McMenamin's on there. A couple of the guys are on there. I think Sedano was hosting the show yesterday. So let me play something for everybody here. And this is Dave McMenamin. We've heard the conversation about, is he going to sign that extension? I think over the last 30 days or so, most people are like, I saw Ramona Shelburne's been out there. She's been basically saying like, yeah, it seems like, I think the exact word, she'd be shocked if he doesn't sign it, something along those lines. So take a quick listen here. I want to play this, and then I want to talk some MVP chatter on Luka Doncic. This is Dave McMenamin talking yesterday about his optimism towards Luka.
Luka Doncic. There was ownership by Luka of this offseason to stamp down that he wants to be part of the Lakers moving forward, and he wants others to join him. So he makes calls to DeAndre Ayton, the guy who came into the draft with him as the #1 pick. Now he's the center for the Lakers. Makes calls to Marcus Smart. Needs to fill the point of attack defender spot that Dorian Finney-Smith occupied last year. He now plays for the Houston Rockets. Gets Marcus Smart to come. And I think as we look forward, we look at that August 2nd date when the Lakers can offer an extension to Luka Doncic worth 4 years, $222 million, up to that figure. And I would say, if you're a Laker fan, you shouldn't have any worry about Luka coming to some sort of an extension or agreement with the Lakers, which means he won't just be a Laker for next season, won't just be a Laker for the season after that. I think at a minimum, we're talking about a 3-year extension.
All right, that's Dave McMenamin right there. So you can see the numbers. You can see the list right there. I think one of these two are going to happen. I know one of the advantages of him taking a shorter contract is so he can sign a supermax when he gets to that 10-year period. So whichever extension that he takes, I probably think, maybe there's more of a chance he takes that 3 years, 160. We'll see what happens. I mean, just think about that. Imagine somebody writing, you're signing a contract, 3 years, $160 million, or you could do 4 years, $222. Luka's going to get his money, but certainly Dave McMenamin, and I think a lot of people out there, there's a similar theme. And that theme is, don't really have to worry about whether Luka Doncic is going to sign that agreement or not. It feels like it's just a matter of time. So I think just from that perspective, because I've seen some people in the chat, hey, Al, you know what? They haven't done enough. Why would Luka sign based on what the Lakers roster looks like? Or why would this happen? Or why would that happen? I think the more that you look at this team, this franchise, and how much they take care of their stars, now it's going to be up to Luka. Because I do think the Lakers will do, and they got a lot that's going to be on their shoulders and their back to put together a competitive team, a championship caliber team. I think obviously there's going to be a lot there. But if Luka decides, all right, I want to be a Laker for the next 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years, well, however long he becomes a Laker, 7 years, I don't know the number. However long he becomes a Laker, there's going to be responsibility on his side, obviously, to be the best version of himself. And then there's going to be a responsibility for the Lakers on their side to put together the best team possible. So every indication out there is that Luka will sign some type of an extension. Now the question is going to be when. I don't know when it's going to be. I saw this as well today as well. I was looking at this on Hoops Hype. American media speculated Luka Doncic has been sculpting his body in recent weeks, losing several kilograms and reducing his body fat percentage. By the way, I think this is coming from a European publication. They're reducing his body fat percentage. Might be delaying signing a new contract until September. There were even hints that he might wait until next summer when he would be completely free to play. Doncic said to have agreed to a 4-year extension worth $229. So anyways, we're seeing some different reports out there, but I think what nobody's saying is he's not going to sign that extension. Okay, so this is going to take me to the next piece of our conversation. Part of the conversation, conversation to me is, okay, Luka comes back. Great. Awesome. I think the next question is going to be, what do you expect from Luka then moving forward? And what kind of season should we expect from Luka? I've said this, and I do think there's a little bit of, there has to be. How can there not be some personal chip on your shoulder from Luka Doncic the way last season played out? How can you not look at last year and say to yourself, I got a lot to prove. I don't care what I've done in the past. I don't care that I got to the NBA Finals. I don't care what I did in Dallas. I don't care about any of that stuff. I got a lot to prove personally because of how I was kicked out of Dallas or how they decided that I wasn't good enough to be a part of that team. You can kind of you can label this a number of different ways. And we've had a little bit of a conversation. I know we've talked a little bit about this as well. I've talked a little bit about how I think you're going to see probably the best season you've ever seen from Luka coming next year. But it's completely up to him, and it's up to him how he kind of views the way he was treated last season and what he's hoping to become with the Los Angeles Lakers moving forward. I could tell you this, and most people on here know, for the Lakers, it's kind of really simple. If you want to be remembered in Lakers history, then you won a championship or you did it, and that's it. As great as Pau Gasol was with the Memphis Grizzlies or whatever the case was, really, his name in the NBA is because he teamed up with Kobe and they won championships. Guys like James Worthy, guys like, go down the list. I'm not even talking about the Kobe's and the Shaqs and some of these. I'm just talking about in general. Anthony Davis everyone would have had a really, really, really bad taste. Laker fans would have had bad taste in their mouth about Anthony Davis. If he never won a championship, but he won one. Same thing with LeBron. He won one. That's really what's going to come down to for Luka. So again, on NBA Today, I'm going to share another one here because Perk basically kind of gives his expectations of what he's expecting specifically from Luka Doncic, and he's talking about it obviously from being one of the best players in the NBA. Take a quick listen to Kendrick Perkins.
To win the MVP next season. This is the type of
start this over.
I'm betting on Luka Doncic to win the MVP next season. This is the type of commitment that I want to see from a great player like Luka. I want to see the videos of him working out. I want to see that he's taking accountability for his losing weight and getting in shape. I want to see him being committed to the organization and to his franchise and to his head coach by reaching out and getting players around him. You talk about getting DeAndre Ayton, they got him, right, a center that he needed. They also went and got a guy, Marcus Smart, who they haven't had a primary defender like that on the wing since Alex Caruso. And now all of a sudden, Luka is saying, I'm ready for this season. I took the disrespect from last season with the Mavs trading me. I'm holding myself accountable. And all the greats in the history of greats have went through some type of adversity or went through some type of thing throughout their career where they had to have an accountability part, and we're seeing that through Luka right now.
All right, so you guys, you love Perk, you hate Perk. It doesn't matter to me. It's more his opinion because I saw some people on here that whether they're a big fan of it or not, I think what Perk said right there. No, I think he's accurate. I do think there's this upcoming season. I think there are expectations for Luka Doncic to be top 3 in the NBA. I think there's expectations for Luka every single night for people to be like, did you see Luka's night? Do you see where the Lakers are heading? Do you see how late Luka is carving up teams? If Luka is to kind of rebound off of whatever happened last year, and it wasn't just even him leaving Dallas. I think there was also a lot of Laker fans that were sitting back saying, dude's not in shape. Is this guy committed to winning? He's got to be, you're accustomed to watching certain players being the absolute best of shape. Use LeBron as an example. Have you ever looked at LeBron and said to yourself, yeah, I don't know if LeBron's body is ready for this upcoming year? That's never been the case. And we can make excuses for Luka. We say guy's coming off an injury. Maybe he came back a little bit too soon. We can do all of that. But I think there's a piece of what Perk is saying right there, that the expectations is this upcoming year. If I told you, hey, give me the top 5 players in the NBA, we can't get past 5 without mentioning Luka. And if we get past 5 mentioning Luka, then Luka's not having the type of season that he's supposed to be having. And then if you want to say, give me the top 3 MVP candidates for this upcoming season, it's going to be crowded. Think of the names that are going to be there. Shea's going to be there. Nikola Jokic is going to be there. What do you got? 1 spot left? Is it Giannis or is it Luka? That's the caliber of players that Luka is going to be challenging with to win MVP. And I get it. I'm not telling you that winning an MVP is more important than competing for an NBA championship. But what I am telling you is for Luka Doncic, the player that they traded for, that got very, very fortunate to kind of fall on their laps for the future of this franchise, he's got to be a top 5 player this year, and there's got to be no question about it. And he should be in that conversation as the most valuable player in the NBA if he has the type of season everybody expects him to have. He can't do it all on his own. I'm not trying to make the case that he can. That's not the point of the conversation. By no means is it the point of the conversation. But he is good enough and hopefully driven enough and hopefully in a new location with a new franchise where he knows expectations are always absurd, and we'll see what he brings to the table this upcoming year. Thank you very much for watching the clip. Just want to give a shout out here to one of our partners, the Wallace Firm. They are official injury attorney of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk, the entire channel. If you are ever in a need, and I hope you're not, but some type of serious injury with yourself or a family member of yours, I would like to personally help you by introducing you to the best in the business, Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Also got a URL out here that you can use as well. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Thank you for their partnership, and thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show.